The church was wrapped in stillness. Only the faint creak of wooden pews and the distant hum of the organ filled the air. Every eye turned toward the bride. Madison's heart raced as she walked down the aisle, each step echoing louder than the last. Her lace-gloved hands trembled. Her breath came shallow, but her smile held steady. This was supposed to be the happiest day of her life, the moment she had imagined since childhood. But somewhere, deep inside, beneath the soft music and whispered prayers, something didn't feel right. A quiet voice of doubt lingered, one she tried desperately to silence. She told herself it was just nerves, the kind every bride feels before forever begins. But forever was about to take a turn she never saw coming. Before we go further, I'd love to pause for a moment. If you believe in kindness, in second chances, and in the power to turn pain into strength, please take a second to like this video, subscribe to Kindness Tales, and share it with someone who might need to hear this story today. Your support helps us keep spreading light in a world that sometimes forgets how to shine. Now, back to Madison. She was known for her gentle spirit, the kind of woman who'd give her heart before her name. Raised by a single mother in a small town, Madison grew up surrounded by hard work and quiet love. She dreamed of building a life that was simple, honest, and full of respect, the kind of love her mother never had. Then came Ethan, charming, wealthy, confident. He swept Madison off her feet with promises of forever, the kind of forever written in fairy tales. But fairy tales can hide cracks, and Ethan's charm had shadows. He mocked her dreams of becoming a teacher, called them too small for someone with her potential. He teased her background in front of his friends, pretending it was a joke. Each word felt like a pinprick to the heart, small enough to ignore, but deep enough to leave scars. Still, Madison told herself he meant no harm, that love just looked different in his world. And so, she stayed silent until the silence became unbearable. On her wedding day, she carried all that silence with her, like invisible weight. When she reached the altar, Ethan smiled, not with love, but with something crueler. As the pastor began to speak, he laughed, loud enough for everyone to hear. "Can you believe she actually thought she was worthy of me?" he said, smirking. "This whole thing, the dress, the flowers, it's cute, but it's not what I deserve." Gasps rippled through the church. Madison stood frozen. Her cheeks burned. Her heart cracked. The man she was about to marry had turned her wedding into a stage for humiliation. Her mother's face crumpled in the front row. Friends looked away in pity. And for a moment, Madison wanted to run, to disappear. But then something inside her shifted. She remembered every time she had swallowed her truth, every insult she had disguised as love, every dream she had buried to keep his approval. And suddenly, her tears stopped. Madison stood taller. The church grew silent as she looked at Ethan, not as a broken bride, but as a woman, finally done pretending. She thanked the guests not for coming to her wedding, but for witnessing her awakening. She spoke clearly, her voice steady. "I spent years believing love meant accepting cruelty," she said. "That respect was optional if someone claimed to care. But today, I see the truth. Marrying you wouldn't lift me up, it would bury me." The crowd fell silent. Then Madison lifted her veil and let it fall to the ground. She turned, walking down the aisle, not as a bride, but as a woman reborn. Each click of her heels echoed like thunder, the sound of freedom. By the time she reached the doors, guests were on their feet. Some clapped, some cried, but no one would ever forget the sight of the bride who walked away. Outside, sunlight wrapped around her like a blessing. Her mother ran to her, tears streaming, but this time, they were tears of pride. Madison smiled and whispered, "I'm free." The days that followed weren't easy. Whispers followed her in town, but Madison didn't hide. She chased her dream of teaching, pouring her heart into helping children find the confidence she had once lost. She volunteered at women's shelters, sharing her story, reminding others that walking away from disrespect isn't weakness, it's strength. Years passed. One evening, Madison stood on a grand stage at a charity gala, elegant, radiant, unshaken. As she scanned the crowd, her eyes met Ethan's. The arrogance was gone. All that remained was regret. Madison smiled softly, not with bitterness, but with peace. She began her speech with words that had once ended her wedding. Respect is not optional in love. Without it, there is no foundation, no future, no forever. The audience rose in thunderous applause. Tears filled their eyes, not for pity, but for admiration. Madison's story had come full circle. She turned her pain into purpose, her heartbreak into hope. She reminded the world that sometimes, the most powerful love story begins the moment you choose yourself. Because the bride who once walked away didn't lose her fairy tale, she wrote a better one. If this story touched your heart, please like this video, subscribe to Kindness Tales, and share it with others. And before you go, drop a comment that says, "Respect is love," because true love always begins with respect.